The media portrayed the villains in TV shows as crazy Vietnam veterans, and they always had a gun and they were shooting innocent civilians on the streets. The prevailing attitude was to pull yourself up by the bootstraps and deal with your problems. There's a lot of stigma around saying, I can't handle it. That person or that veteran goes into a world where he or she is discriminated against, where they can't find a job, where people kind of whisper behind their back, you know, when you were this really tough soldier and now you come back and you can't sleep and you cry like a baby for no reason. My immediate perceptions, the first time my husband started displaying these symptoms, were that I married a crazy man. You know, PTSD was something that people really didn't understand. I believe they called it combat fatigue. And symptoms started showing up probably about 2 or 3 years into our marriage. I think the first time was a 4th of July. Somebody had lit a firecracker really loud, and we were at a party and he jumped on the ground. He got up and people started laughing, and you know, nobody realized that he was having flashbacks. Something was really wrong with him. He knew it. He didn't talk to anyone other than perhaps other military veterans, and that was usually over a few beers and a bottle of whiskey. You didn't seek help because you're a soldier. The veterans returning today are starting to show the same kinds of problems and issues that Vietnam veterans were showing when they were returning. I'm really proud to be the wife of a veteran, and you know, really honored that he served our country. And that's, you know, I do have regrets. You know, I have regrets that we didn't do something about it sooner. We had all of those years where all I did was cope. I didn't live. I made the mistake for many years of buying into the stigma. Even though I worked in the business, you know, it's not in my family. It happens to other families over here. The way we coped, though, was the same way he did. It was a lot of denial, and the denial as a family held us back. He started getting real help in the late 90s, and you know, that was about the same time that I started reaching out to peers, to other families. There was so much pain that, you know, my children endured. I wish I had reached out earlier. I could have avoided a lot of pain that they went through and a lot of the pain that I went through. And so somebody was to ask me, you know, what should family members do who are living with a veteran who is hurting you? And that's to get help for yourself. Even if your loved one chooses not to get help, you know, do something for yourself and for your children. It means if we've taken the time to recognize, re-educate, and reduce the stigma, that person is now willing to go for treatment, get help that they need, or the family who have been struggling with their own pain will go and get the help that they need to make it okay for people to say, I or my loved one has a mental illness. I think it's more acceptable to talk about feelings of suicide or depression or inability to relate to your loved ones in civilian life. Mental illness, it's a part of the human continuum. Every opportunity that you find, you know, use it to educate people. If you hear, you know, somebody making a stupid comment, don't get angry, you know, use it as an opportunity to educate them. So I think it's really up to all of us to help make the world a more accepting place of people with mental illness.